But somebody came along and, righted us over, which is really cool about that off-road community. It really, I feel like automotive and motorsports in general is truly like family community. Like, hey, how can I help you? Where my day job, the building materials world, it's like, how do I slit your throat?
All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Dirt Drive podcast. We are here with Jeff Schultz. We are here at PRI. We finally made it work. We've been a big fans of GearHead for a while.
Yep.
I will say this is not. I intentionally didn't reach out to you guys for PRI to sponsor us because I wanted an honest interaction with you and not like a sponsored ad because we like to get to know our guests. But yeah, Jeff from GearHead. Yep. We love his stuff. We preach his stuff whether they pay us to or not.
Yeah. It's available at the shop.
It is available at the shop. Yep. It's available at the Tops booth at PRI.
Yep.
Yes, it is available at Tops headquarters. Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys. We definitely, so I guess a little bit about us. So we're family owned. It's my wife and I own the company. So we're about 6 years old, and we had some previous partners. Our background is we were a desert racing team. So we ran the Baja 1000. We ran the Best in the Desert series out of Vegas, all of that stuff. And when we were out there, we saw, I tell people all the time, and you guys get it, off-road, right? Track racing is different. You go around and come to a pit, come to a pit. When you're off-road or you're desert racing, it's like, oh, you're 36 miles away. Yeah. All of your tools, your extra, everything. I mean, everything you've got is like basically zip tied to the inside of a car. But we saw everybody was just pounding energy drinks, and I'm not saying coffee is a health drink, so this is not an official endorsement by the FDA.
It does not make me feel like it does when I drink other branded caffeinated beverages.
We tell people you'll never have a doctor say, hey, it's cool to pound 20 energy drinks in a day. Yeah. It's like you want to have 20 cups of coffee, probably overkill, but it's not going to kill you, right? So that's what really got us into it. And then we'd, a big, everybody knows Black Rifle. I mean, they had blown up at that time. And
yeah, you were at breakfast this morning. You saw Travis wearing his hat.
So I was like, you son of a bit. No, I'm just kidding. But no, hey, they did some great things. Love what they're about. The big thing for GearHead, right, is it's specifically for our industry. It's the automotive, motorsports industry. Whether it's a guy wrenching on his 55 Chevy in the garage, whether it's off-roading, whether it's desert racing, whether it's F1, whether it's, dirt track, anything, we all have that common feed, that gearhead mentality of loving to wrench on things, work on things. And so it really has a broad appeal. And the one thing that we talk about all the time internally is that we have mass appeal, right? Like we've shipped overseas, we've shipped, there's a car culture in Australia, in Europe, in Africa, in every continent. It is far reaching where, some of the other brands out there, it's like, hey, maybe that brand is great for the US, but not elsewhere. Yeah. Ours, it truly has. There's a gearhead appeal globally. So so that's, I'm got diarrhea of the mouth here. That's
literally what a podcast is.
Yeah. So what's your history in motorsports? I know you said you did some off-road racing.
Yep. So that's really it for motorsports. I mean,
how'd you get into off? Like, how do you just stumble into racing the Baja?
I was walking down the road one day, and the guy's like, "Hey, good looking." No,
I'm still waiting for that to happen to us.
Yeah. No. So the original guys that we found that started GearHead with us, no longer part of the business, still good friends with those guys. They just decided, hey, don't want to mess with this. I've got bigger things in life, which I get, man, because it is tiring because this is the side hustle for us. Like for me, at least, it's like, hey, here's 80 hours a week day job, and then whatever you can on GearHead.
Yeah, I was blown away when I heard that when I was talking to Chantel.
Chantel.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. She's going to be pissed. I told him it was Chantel earlier. He said, I don't care. I'm going to say Chantel.
Yeah. And she told me that you worked a full-time job and ran the company, but she actually ran the company, but you ran the company. You did the marketing.
She's basically like a general manager. She makes everything happen.
She specifically said she doesn't like the PR stuff. She doesn't want to talk to people.
She would not have said on this.
So when we were doing Overland Expo, it took everything it had for her to talk to me on the phone for 30 minutes. Oh, just so I could get to the company a little bit.
I love her to death.
Sorry.
It's left and right brain, right? Like her background, she was a muralist, and she used to make, and she still makes them for sometimes like the custom cakes, like stuff like no bullshit, the stuff you see on TV. That's cool. Like it is like that's her brain.
Did you say cakes?
Yeah. So it's like, but now now it's like, oh yeah, I want you to go sell it. Can you sell it?
Yeah.
Nope. I'm done with it.
It's a whole nother skill set.
It is. So how we got into it, the guys that had started the coffee company with, I knew them from the day industry. I used to work for a company called Rainbird Irrigation. So if you look on a sprinkler and you see the name Rainbird, that's not who I'm with now. But Ryan, Wes, all of these guys were part of that irrigation industry. And they said, hey, we're going to run the Baja. Do you want to be part of that? And I was like, well, hell yeah. I have a wife and 2 little girls at home. I'm like, please give me a guy something to do. Right? I'm like, yeah, that's great.
Get me out of the house.
Even our dog was female.
Oh, man.
So it was cool. We basically took a 4-seater Polaris RZR, cut it down, re-welded it into a 2-seater, long travel, all of that. And it was, that's what we raced with for, did Baja a couple times and then Best in the Desert Series for a couple of years as well.
That's like 2 feet first, head first.
That's
all
not
in one shot.
It's not like, hey, we're going to go rent a car. It's like, build it, go. And,
let's just take a stock RZR and drive around the desert, see if we like this first. We're just going to go all out.
Yeah.
Did you do any like pavement stuff first? You never had any fast cars, always driving Civics or Accords or all that stuff?
Yeah, no, it was more like Corollas and no, I'm just kidding. But my dad was a mechanic, so grew up, we had my family had a landscaping company in South Florida. And so, was wrenching on things and machinery and
putting
things
the pieces
like that.
together, South Florida,
so all that. And so grew up around that. And but really, it's like there was nothing targeted for us, right? Like we talked about Black Rifle, we talked about some other brands. But I said it just goes beyond. Like we do so much.
Hold your mic up a little bit for us.
Oh, sorry. We do it even so much outside of the motorsport world. Like car shows are huge for us. Like we've done a lot with Good Guys. So
yeah, the C10 thing you just did was cool.
Oh, that GHC 10 bag. Yeah. So we've got that. So we were just at Dino's Get Down, which is a big Chevy only show out in Phoenix a couple weeks ago. But we were last year. We were the official coffee of Good Guys. Didn't re-up that this year, but I mean, so we do a lot of car shows, and it, just again, people see are like, man, I get it. You get my lifestyle, right? Yeah. So it's a lifestyle brand that we're trying to build.
Sure. Yeah. Cars and coffee, right?
Right.
Like, there isn't a place you can go that there isn't a cars and coffee event, whether it's some. Like in the off-road world, we always had rigs and coffee,
right?
And it's like that's it. That's all it is.
We've done a couple
just guys standing around drinking coffee, looking at cars.
We've done a couple rigs and coffees, but cars and coffees. Yeah, we look and say, man, if we had the human and financial resources, there's 1,000 cars and coffee every weekend at least. It's like, how do you have GearHead Coffee at every one of those as things we think about, right? Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, we mow through the Texas pecan beadlock at the shop.
It is.
It literally fuels my shop.
We call it nectar of the gods.
Oh, it's so good.
The 427 stroker is my favorite.
Is it?
Oh yeah. I love that one.
Yeah.
That's I'm a 2 to 3 cup a morning person,
right.
And then this time of year, there's an afternoon cup because it's cold. It's just a warm drink, really. Right. And that Texas pecan at 2 in the afternoon is just so good.
We get so it's our daily drinker. It's like you brew it and walk out to the kitchen and smell it. It smells so good. Yep. But we get a lot. When you talk about afternoon, our sales are cyclical, right? Like so, it's. In the summers, sales go down because it's hot and people, I don't need hot coffee.
You guys got to do a cold brew.
But we get emails all the time about people taking the beadlock Texas pecan and making cold brew with it.
That's what I did for 24 hours. Yeah, it's what we did for 24 hours.
We get emails I literally just had a guy.
I don't remember.
I had a guy lunch with a guy yesterday for my day job. He's like, man, I went down into Summit Racing and bought a couple bags of the beadlock just to try it. And he said, holy shit, that was the best cold brew I've ever made.
I know one of our Christmas presents to ourselves for my wife and I is a new coffee maker because we're always on the go. We have a 1-year-old and it's like we're primarily K-Cup people.
Pistons.
The
Pistons, come on.
Well, and that's at the shop we use the Pistons because I have it in the water cooler with the coffee maker. But our new coffee maker is going to do both. So on the weekends we'll be able to brew a pot because we both drink a lot of coffee. And it's like, I'll use because they're either Pistons or K cups. I'm burning 6 of them on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And it gets expensive, regardless of who you're buying it from.
Right.
So it's like, I'm just going to get a nice big bag of beadlock every morning.
Yep. And you can do the 5-pound bags of the beadlock as well. But we even have custom programs, right? Like where people can buy in bulk. Like we've got one customer will buy 500 at a time in a big dump box. So we've got all of that stuff. But you're like, candidly, I grew up, my parents separated when I was 3 and my brother was 2. So we moved with our grandparents in like Depression era. And I can't fathom. I'm like, man, so I'm a ground guy because you get 32 cups out of one bag versus
it's a better cup of coffee anyway.
You can make it as strong as you want, right? Where a K cup or a piston, it's already made.
Yep.
It's like that's as strong as it's getting. If you want to go double down and make it stronger, right?
Yeah.
So.
I'm excited to have a real coffee maker in the house again.
Yeah. Now you can tell you're getting older.
Oh,
the things that excite us.
Yeah, I just have a like the Keurig K cup.
Yeah,
a piston maker, the K cup maker.
Yeah.
Well, only the gearheads are piston.
Yeah,
fair.
Only the gearheads are pistons. We've trademarked pistons just for us.
That's great, and that's like we tell people that at the shop because they're like, oh, like what's like the 12 count? They're like, oh, does that work at a Keurig? We're like, oh yeah, those are the pistons, and they're like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. So as I know, we got the bulk bag of it from you guys on our last order for the retail shelves, and I just like opened the box and I just hugged the bag. It's like, oh, this is great.
So how did the first off-road race go? Jumping in feet first.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, I say the thing that we underestimated most was the elements. So we did not finish. But it really is like you go from hot to cold, and it's like and then you're starting to get the mist and everything on your visor. Like you can't keep it. Like literally, we must have gone through like 20 towels when you're going through the silt beds and all these things. And so I feel like the elements were part of what we underestimated. So when we built that car, a guy flew in to tech inspect the cage, all of that stuff, and he just told us a little bit, and it was pretty interesting. He's like, now listen, it's like the Super Bowl there for them.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's like people are going to want autographs, and literally, it's like you're waiting to get inspection, and there's just kids. Hey, will you sign this? And I'm like, I'm a nobody, but sure.
Yeah.
Our wives say don't say that, but I'll sign your shirt. I'll do this, all that stuff.
Have some coffee.
Yeah. So it's like get hyped up. Here we go. I'll come at you like a spider monkey. But then he also said. The other thing is, it's not that people want to see you get injured. It's not malicious, but they're going to do things. They're going to dig holes because they want the car. They want your vehicle turning over.
Yeah,
they're going to turn the sign. I remember specifically at 2 a.m. Maybe it wasn't 2. It was well after midnight. But 2 bottle rockets being shot into the car, and it's like, oh shit, because it is a party. Like you're going, it's just a party. But they'll tell you, it's like if you hit somebody, do not stop, just go, because you'll see these trophy trucks. I mean, they're like power sliding around the corner.
They're doing 100 miles an hour.
And the difference between the U.S. and Mexico is in the U.S. we would be back 20 feet from that.
Oh,
if this is the racetrack in Mexico, here's me on the track. And like we saw a guy take and put an infant, like sub 1, wasn't even walking, on the track as a trophy truck's coming to get a picture, then run and grab the baby.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's just, but it sounds crazy, but it also just reinforces their passion for the sport down there because it's a yearly, and then you've got the 500, you've got the 250, you've got just that whole desert race and culture there is constantly. So big for that community. So, but it was. Yeah, it was fun. I think the thing I remember the most might be the street tacos. I'm a big food guy. You get street tacos for less than $1 and just eating street tacos nonstop.
So you just ran it 1 year?
I ran the first year. The second year I had a medical procedure, couldn't go, but the team ran.
Okay.
And then we ran Best in the Desert a couple years. So
nice.
and so it was hard. So a lot of the Best in the Desert guys, most of those guys are going to be Southern California, Arizona, Nevada, and us coming from Texas for every race. It was definitely,
a long drive.
It was good. I mean, candidly, I just flew in because of the day job, all this other stuff or whatnot. So I would fly in to be there for the races, but it's a community there, and it's fun. It's the camaraderie. Like the 2 big races for the U.S. are going to be the Mint 400 and then the Vegas to Reno. Those are definitely the 2 biggest. We rolled the car 1 year in the Mint 400, and we still laugh about it.
When did you run the Mint?
We ran the Mint, was it 2018 maybe? But I just remember it's like, you've got the Hans device on, and I swear I was like, the Hans device slowed me from getting out. Like slowed me down. Had that carbon on fire. I was like, seriously, had the carbon on fire? I don't know. And then Ryan, my buddy, like stepping on my crotch while he's getting out of the car and all these things. But it was, but somebody came along and, you know, righted us over, which is really cool about that off-road community. It really, it's just, I feel like automotive and motorsports in general is truly like family community. Like, hey, how can I help you? You know, where my day job, the building materials world, it's like, how do I slit your throat?
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? So it's really cool.
It's funny. I made that comment this morning at the breakfast. I joked with Tim. I was like, I feel like every guy that's ever mean mugged me at a cruise night is here, right? It's all the old timers, you know, the Corvettes and the New Balances, right? Like the stereotypical Corvette guys. And him and I are like the youngest people for as far as we can see at 6:30 this morning,
right?
And it's funny because that's always been our draw to the off-road world. Is like, I think it was George that always said, I want to beat you on the track, not in the pits.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So everyone's helpful. Everyone's flipping you back over. It's tools and parts and hands, whatever it is. And like, it is such the motorsport and off-road community, I think, blend together more than people realize.
Yeah.
And it's that exact thing of just everyone wants to help you.
Yeah. It's always family. And if you don't have that mentality, you don't last very long in off-road.
It's very true. I mean, I like in a race, like, oh, our belt's out. Hey, I've got an extra. Here you go.
Yeah.
We'll get it at the pit. Will you guys get us back at the pit or something like that? Where it could just be like, good, I'm glad you're out. That's one less person that I got to worry about on the track, right? So maybe it also said that we weren't very good. That people were like, we're not worried about that.
Here.
Anything you guys need.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember when I was in high school, I had a Jeep, I had an XJ, and I remember watching just Sunday morning reruns of anything from Baja, and like I told my parents, I was like, when I graduate, my buddies are, we're gonna drive to Mexico and run it in the Jeep, and my mom was like, yeah. And now, obviously, years later, I'm like, I probably would have died. Like, there's like no way. Like, it's so much harder than I think anything you can describe or show somebody without actually doing it. And like the fact that you guys just bought a side by side.
There was, you know, we had a guy on the team, Drew, was and we ultimately went out, but had a welder with, I mean, it is like, you
guys had a chase truck with you as well.
We had multiple chase trucks, but you look at like the pro teams, like running those trophy trucks. Oh, I mean, they're down there. The difference between a pro and somebody who's doing it for fun, it's like they're down there pre-running 2, 3, 4 weeks in advance. They're like running each segment of the course
taking
multiple times. When we get down there the day before, we're like, let's get it.
Yeah. When your race team owns a helicopter, like that's well beyond the next level.
Right,
like,
it is.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, just to go four-wheeling for a weekend is expensive.
Right,
Let alone importing it into Mexico and going through all the process.
Yeah, though they've said they spend, you know, those big teams will spend easily 6 figures per race to go run those
Well, we were
races.
talking to the
sprint car guys
this morning. They spend $1,000 a night rebuilding their motors.
Yeah. Each motor costs, like each race costs them $1,000 in motor work every night they run that motor.
I have no idea what it'd be for drag racing, like the NHRA, where they break down and rebuild. I don't know what the cost is.
4 times a day.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's wild.
Like the top fuel car sitting out here, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That's
crazy.
We work with Coletta, so Doug Coletta, Sean Langdon, JR, and it is like, it's just cool to be around and just watch those guys. I mean, it is like, and I will tell you this, I know this is off-road, but if you've never been to an NHRA race and been down by the starting line for a top fuel track, it like, you cannot describe how loud it is.
So I grew up 2 miles from Englishtown Raceway Park. Okay. So like, that's where my car guy stuff started. My dad's not a car guy. The joke is my dad doesn't hang pictures on the wall level, and I became a mechanic somehow. Like we're not really sure where it happened, but he would take me to the race as a kid. And I mean, I remember watching on ESPN on the TV delay with the window open in the summer. You could hear the cars, the top fuel dragsters, run down the track, and then turn around, watch it on TV. Like it was that much of a delay.
Cool. That's crazy.
And it was just, it's that.
Well, when you're running 3-second quarter miles,
and just like the bleachers shake, like you could feel that car pass you. It's wild.
When my youngest daughter, when she was 2 years old, was our first time out at Texas Motorplex, and I think I said before, we're the official coffee there, but that's where they run NHRA Fall Nats. So it was the first NHRA race she was at, and she's sitting on my shoulders. She's got a little headphone, earmuffs on, all this stuff. And a car runs, and she just. And then starts laughing because she doesn't know what to do because it's like your inside shakes.
Yeah,
like,
it's fantastic.
Literally everything is shaking. So
it's like my the guy that worked for my dad has a '67 Camaro that he races, and it's a sub 10-second car.
Yeah.
So like my dad's company sponsored his car, and we'd go. As I got older, I'd just go on a Friday night for test and tune or whatever, and hang out with Rick and like watch the cars go. And it's just it is. Pure gearhead, no pun intended. Like that is, I don't care what you do in the automotive industry, drag racing just sucks you in.
12,000 horsepower.
It's just, there's nothing else like it. I have no interest in doing drag racing. Like to me, it's boring. But as a car guy, it's so fascinating to watch.
I could watch cars run all day long, but I'm not gonna put myself in the driver's seat.
I'm not gonna spend 30
grand
grand to build a drag car. I can do a lot more.
30 grand to build a drag car, Tom.
Sorry, a drag car motor.
Yeah.
For my 15-second car.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you'll have the track drive. It'll be next instead of quarter-mile drive. The quarter-mile drive. There you go. Oh, or eighth mile. I'm a quarter-mile guy.
I live my life 1/4 mile at a time. Family.
So how does the Hobby Baja construction equipment or construction products lead to coffee?
So it's a very good question. So one of the guys I mentioned name's Ryan West. West he's like, oh man, GearHead Coffee, and he had just had some bags, and it's like, hey, it's a great concept, and it was really, now how do we take it from ideation? This is going to sound really day jobish, like ideation to commercialization. It's like, how do we go from a brown bag with a sticker on it to, you guys have seen our artwork, like you see the bags, you see all this stuff. So working with some professional artists to really design bags, because that is, again, I talk about what we're selling is that lifestyle, and our artwork truly is about communicating. We get your lifestyle, we understand it, because there truly is something about the gearhead lifestyle. And so it was taking it from just that, here's an idea, and now putting it into play on mass level. And it's been great. I mean, so candidly, like, coffee is a commodity product, right? It's like concrete, or it's like steel rebar or something like that. And but you look at the size of the market globally, hundreds of billions of dollars. But it is, how we differentiate. One is the premium, and you guys have talked about the taste and the premium quality. But again, it's that we resonate with the lifestyle, with our artwork and all that.
So the goal was the brand.
Yeah, and it really is, because we build a coffee company, there's like, there's 100,000 coffee companies. Yeah. What's in it for me? If I'm the purchaser, it's like, okay, that's what I get. It's the marketing.
It's cool to see that from not being a car guy to racing the desert, you've completely evolved into a car guy. You're absorbed. It is. I mean, at least from your social media, it seems like you're absorbed by the lifestyle.
It is. So it's funny you say social media, because that's part of our problem. Is I do our social media, and that's not very good. So
me too.
I mean, it's miserable that it's like, oh, you've got less than 6,000 followers, and it's so bad because
we're less than 1,000.
All you do, you hang on. I was like, oh, is somebody going to like this post? Is somebody going to like the post? Oh, please like it. But it is. It's like, I can't wait till we get to the point where we could just hire someone or an agency or something to really go and take that burden from me. So
it's all I want is to get rid of social media.
Listen, I'll tell you. So this was my day before I realized you could schedule. I didn't even know you could schedule.
Oh yeah,
no bullshit. No, so here was my day. I would wake up. And we're faith-based, our company. We say GearHead Coffee is faith-based. So I'd wake up, I would do my devotion, I'd go to the gym, I would come home to the driveway, and I would just start sweating. Like, okay, please let this post, let people like this post. And then I found out you get scheduled, and it is, now I'm not sweating every morning. I'm just, now it's like, how did I only get 27 likes? I thought I just spent an hour on that damn thing. Like the PRI, I don't know if you guys saw the PRI thing I posted a couple of days ago. Like, hey, we'll be at PRI tomorrow. Yeah. I spent and again, I'm not very tech savvy, but I spent like an hour creating this damn thing, and I got like 17 likes. I'm like, it
kills me.
I was like, don't you know how hard I worked on this post?
The things I've learned. So we've done SEMA a couple times. I've sat through social media seminars with SEMA, and I think they're on the list. I don't know if we'll make them. We're way busier than we thought we were going to be, but the engagements are great. but it's the views, right? Like if you're a company and a brand, how many people are seeing it, regardless if they like it, share it, whatever. Like those are all great because that grows your views. But how many people saw the logo? How many people saw this?
Right.
How much time did they spend looking at it? Like that's the factor. And like I think for you guys, it's a recognizable brand. So like as long as you're in the feed, right? Like as long as somebody sees GearHead Coffee, there's a benefit to it.
And I do feel like things are working. Like I think that people are starting to recognize the brand. It's like wherever we go, you're like, oh yeah, I've seen you before. I've seen this online, or I saw you on a show. So I feel like it's starting to resonate. And it's been, like I said, almost 6 years of like literally blood, sweat, and tears. You know, and you guys get it as entrepreneurs. It's like, man, is it worth it? It's like, oh my gosh, we got to pay for beans. We got to pay for. It's like, the stress that comes with it. Or like, forget it. Shut this thing down today. We're done. We're done with it. And it's wanting to fight through it.
It's so tempting. I have in my head. Between it's like you have a really good week and you're like, yay, and then the tax bill comes and you're like, no.
Yeah, no. It's like Black Friday, the Black Friday Cyber Monday weekend was huge, was great for us. And then Giving Tuesday, it's like one order, yeah. You're like, son of a, we just you know. So
and then you're looking at that list going, oh man, we gotta ship all that. It's like I just had a meeting with our shop software, and he pulled up the shop and he goes, wow, you guys got like 15 estimate requests in the last like week. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I'm here. Like, don't remind me. Like, we're busy.
This is what I get to do when I get home. Appreciate it.
Yeah. It's like, I know what I'm doing tonight in the hotel room. Yeah. Like, but you're happy to be busy, but you're also like, oh man, this is twice as much work as I did last week. And it's just, but it's fun.
Yeah. No, like even for us, even like summer vacation, our girls, it's like our girls are 10 and 9, and it's like, okay, sports age, we've got to start backing away from stuff because we've got all these extracurricular activities happening. But for us in the summer, it's like, all right, we're going to load up the E350. We bought an old E350, took all the seats out except the first bench. So the girls sit on the bench, and then it's loaded out for shows, and we'll go hit like a couple car shows. That's cool. But that's their summer vacation.
Do they like the car show life, the automotive stuff?
Yeah, I think they like it. So yes, they like it. They have fun. Part of it because they get to use their tablets in the car. But they have fun at the shows. And what's cool is a lot of the shows, and even NHRA races, all this stuff is they've got like dedicated kids areas or things like that where they go and
to keep the kids active and involved.
Yeah, and have fun. But we do that. But we try to make it fun too. And like, hey, let's hit some national parks. So like 2 years ago, we were supposed to be at the Pikes Peak Hill Climb. Okay. We work with Dussault Designs, but their car went out in testing, and we'd already had the Airbnb booked. I'm like, forget it, we're still going. So we went to Pikes Peak, then we did Badlands, did Mount Rushmore, all that, and did a couple car shows around. Yeah. So we're seeing things. This past summer we did.
You know what you need? You 4x4 conversion on that.
I was just thinking the same thing.
We've talked about it, but then I also think about the fuel.
Have we talked about it?
The mileage is already not great.
Was it the 4.6 in that? Probably.
No,
or is it a diesel?
No, it's a 4.6. It is a 4.6. I'm sorry. But it's
gonna hurt on 35.
Yeah. Really.
That's right. We'll put one of the new Godzilla V8s in it.
Oh,
or
perfect. Then we're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
Same mileage, but you'll get there faster.
Yeah. But this summer we did Des Moines for Good Guys, which is a huge show, and then we went up to Iola, Wisconsin for the Iola car show, and it was our first time there, and it was big. It was because it's a swap meet as well, but it was good. So yeah. So I feel like us. What helps us quite a bit is going to shows, and so we've taken the past 5 or 6 years and really the past 3 years and really have hit shows the past 3 years.
So it's cool to hear that you guys are faith based. Like, heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't want to. Like we do, I will tell you, we do. Like we'd give a lot to Racers for Christ and things like that, and so we do we've actually got a box, and I know the group. You guys will appreciate it. I'll show you now. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much, but we are working on a box that is.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, there
Breaking
you go.
News.
You really did hear it here first. Let's see. Go to downloads. See, this is how you can tell I'm old. I'm talking myself through it.
It's not you. I'm 34. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Where is this saved again?
So you'll see that's a piston box that's made to look like an old patina toolbox.
Oh, that's cool.
So what we're gonna do. This is just an example, but we'll take our stickers off. We're gonna put Racers for Christ on one side, and then work with.
Cool. So do their branding on there. For
you. So we'll try and get a couple other sponsors, and everybody who will be on there will say, "Hey, it's gonna be $1,500 to be on there. but we'll make 1,000 boxes, and $1,000 of each that everybody puts in all goes to Racers for Christ. So we're hoping to get like 5 or 6 people and get 5 or 6 grand for them.
Reach out to Skyjacker Suspension.
Okay,
they're a big face.
Oh, are they really?
Company,
okay,
yeah.
Cool.
At least I know the previous owners were.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're still involved.
That's
whatnot,
awesome.
So
it is, because a lot of people are afraid. I think a lot of people are afraid to talk about that, and I get it, right? Like, it's not always easy. Like, I could not be a preacher. Our preacher's always like, oh, it's just easy. It's like, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
But we do try. We've said, we feel like there's got to be a bigger purpose in this for us than if it's a small thing like, hey, check out Racers for Christ, and that can help lead someone to, understanding. So yeah.
So other than the E350, what's your daily driver now? Do you have a cool car now?
No, I like literally all the money. It's like, it's a F250, and I bought that. We bought it last year because we wanted to buy a trailer, or at least one trailer for Gearhead. But now we're thinking, do we get a toter home instead? So
Gearhead's doing pretty good.
No, it's not.
We're looking at a jump, little 4x6 utility trailer.
You need to go to Lucas Oil Stadium right now.
I've got it down just to go daydream. But the ones we're looking at are like 2004 timeframe, not 2024.
Still, they're not
but
cheap.
I don't think Chantel is going to allow me to do that, because she's like, you just want to drive big trucks, which is probably somewhat true. But I'm trying to spin it as, well, look, imagine like we're living here, we don't need a hotel, and she's like, but that's part of the problem. I want to get away from the booth if we go to a car show.
Yeah.
Oh, you're living in the car show.
Yeah. So we will probably just stick with the trailer, but the big thing for us is like, we've got to get away from.
Is it going to be like a food trailer, coffee trailer?
Yeah, that's what it
would
be.
So serving
we
coffee.
Can serve it, because right now we go every event we do.
Not just carrying product. It's going to be.
Yeah, we would. Right now we set up tents, we set up brewing equipment, all this stuff, and it's not fun or easy to set all this shit.
Yeah.
You got, you know what I mean? And it is, but it allows that. I'm trying to convince her. I'm like, imagine just pulling in, flipping a switch, everything starts running, and you have it in.
Open a couple doors, and you're good to go.
Man.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense for the pull behind trailer.
Yes, it does.
The toter home is
but listen, the toter home.
But the toter home could pull the trailer.
Toter home could pull a trailer. I've seen some really good setups on RacingJunk.com.
Race car in there too.
You could. I do want a square body or a C10. Like that's what I mean.
Yeah, you and everybody else.
Yeah, I know. It's like
single cab short bed.
No, I don't. I want a quad cab, because
even harder to find.
So this is why I want this, is where I'm happiest when I'm with my family, and with a single cab, right? It's like, sorry girls, we'll see you later. And I travel a lot for my day job too. Like I used to, like 150 nights, 150,000 miles a year on the road, flying, all that stuff. So quite a bit. And so COVID taught me. It was like, when I was first home, like 2 weeks in, Chantel was like, "Are you leaving again soon?" But honey,
I'm here now.
Yeah, but it made me recognize what I was missing. It's like, you've got a 1-year-old.
Yep.
Do you have kids?
One on the way.
Okay, congrats. So hopefully I didn't make that.
No.
I said like, it was a surprise.
I said that a few weeks ago, and I actually got a text from a buddy. He's like, "Oh, you didn't tell me." I'm like, "Yeah, my bad."
Breaking news again.
But the 1-year-old, you'll see, it's like if you leave on a Monday and come back on a Friday, they've changed. And so I missed a lot.
9 to 5 he changes.
Yeah, right. So it just made me realize I was missing a lot. So when I look, I want the 4-door. I want the quad cab, because I want the girls to be able to.
Yep.
And I've only got a couple more years of that. They're 10 and 9.
Yeah.
Half the time they want anything to do with me already. So in another couple of years, it's going to be they want nothing to do with me.
Yeah, we're figuring that out now with the kid on the way. We've got the 2-door Jeep.
Yeah.
That doesn't really suit the lifestyle, so I'm having to go through a breakup with my car right now.
Right.
Is whether do I keep this because I love this, or do I need to get rid of it to get something that fits the family?
I would suggest.
And it feels like a break. It feels like I'm talking myself through a breakup.
Nope. I think you keep it, because wait till
you hear it here first.
You hear it here first.
No, I said that last night.
The second it's 2 or 3 years old and they can start climbing up that back tire it'll be a memory for them forever.
Yeah, I know. My dad had a CJ, and that was my dad's first CJ was my first car.
There you go.
And I climbed up the back tire to get in the back of it.
So the first year it's going to be a pain in the ass putting the car seat in there. Yep. But when older, able to climb that tire, get in, it'll be a memory, right?
Oh yeah.
So
that's a core memory for me.
I'm excited. It's like I barely got out camping or doing anything this year, and a lot of it is the kid and helping and trying to not be away and everything. And I told my wife, I was like, the nice thing is in 2-3 years, once he's a little bit more stable in the car seat, when I want to go, I'm just going to throw him in the car.
Right.
You get the weekend off, and I'll go camping with him for a night.
Right.
Like. I don't care.
Right.
She's like, oh, really? Like, you'll just leave? And I was like, yeah.
You can just leave.
You can have 2 days to yourself. Like,
I don't have to ask. You're just going to. Yeah.
She's like, oh, yeah, I guess I never thought of it like that. I was like,
right.
Yeah. Like, it's instead of me going with the guys now, the guys and the baby come.
Right.
Like, I mean, you're the outlier, but the rest of us all had sons.
Yeah, we're having a girl.
I've got 2 little girls.
I'm so excited. When we first got pregnant, I was like, oh, man, I hope it's a boy, because if it's a girl, I'm gonna be a sucker.
Yeah.
Like I'm not actually gonna hit a boy, but I'm like, I could hit a boy. I could train a boy.
Yeah.
This girl's gonna run me.
It is so most guys like, oh, I want a son, and I was one of those.
I'm so excited.
But I would not trade my daughters for the world. Love them to death. So yeah.
Yeah, we're actually gonna run into them later. Is Jarrell and Peyton Dumford.
Oh yeah.
He started racing with his daughter when she was 9. Cool. She's 15 now. They're coming to the show for the happy hour.
Yeah.
They race side by sides in Ultra 4.
Oh, okay.
So they're awesome. I love them to death. I'm super excited to see them. And their relationship, father-daughter, she drives, he's co-dog.
Cool. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I got
it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite race teams in motorsports right now is Dirt Princess Racing. I've got a shirt that has all big on the front. I wear it all the time. So what's Dirt Princess?
Yeah, people get so confused by that.
It's your nickname. I'm the Dirt Princess.
I got the okay. We have 3 acres, so it's not a ton of space, but I got the okay from the wife to build a track in the backyard.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, all the kids are going to be hopefully pro race drivers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because it's like, I'm like, I never got that chance. I as a kid, I always was like, Mom, buy a go-kart. Like, I want a go-kart. My parents were like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's like my father-in-law actually found like a little 50cc ATV.
Nice.
So like I have that in the garage as a project for my 1-year-old.
Nice.
Like, so I'm excited.
3-wheel?
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's like you guys are hardcore. You guys are hardcore.
I'm pretty sure that's child endangerment.
Yeah.
No, it's 4. He'll be right.
We had the Jeep and we had dirt bikes growing up.
Nice.
So yeah, it's always been power sports, and the one thing that I keep asking people is like, how do you make sure your kids are involved? But it's just make sure they're out there and doing it with you.
Right.
Seems like the right answer in that.
And I think that's any passion that you have. So whether it's off-road, whether it's track racing, whether it's football, basketball, travel, whatever it is, it's like you can let the kids take over. Like we love to travel. So before the coffee company, we've been to like 50, 60 countries and all that stuff.
Awesome.
And people are like, well, when you have kids, that'll all stop. And when we said no, we're like, no, they're going to be part of our lifestyle. And we're going to make them adapt versus us adapt our lifestyle. So whatever your passion is, having your kids involved is so critical because A, it allows you to keep doing it. Yep. But B, gives them something as well, right, to build a foundation on. Yeah,
it's for me at least, it seems to be pretty natural on his own. Like he always gravitates towards a truck or a car. Like I come home from work and there's just Hot Wheels all over the house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Like I'm not going to ever push him to do anything he doesn't want to, but
it was cool.
His first decisions are cars. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do remember coming back from one of our Best in the Desert race, and it was cool because my oldest said, "Oh, can I put on your gloves?" And she put on my gloves, and we had the electric I don't even know what they were, like a little battery operated, like you know what I'm talking about,
like a Power Wheels thing.
Yeah, Power Wheels. She just got in and drove it around the house with my gloves on.
That's
I was
awesome.
like, man, that's cool. Yeah. So
it's fun.
But I was you said co-dog, so I was a co-dog. I was not a driver. I was the co-dog.
Okay.
The guys who were spending the big amounts of money were driving. So which I completely get it. Yeah,
I don't know. We've always talked like we have aspirations to do Ultra 4.
Yeah,
and it's
what's the closest for you? Is it Cranston?
Well, Pennsylvania. Yeah, they do one in Pennsylvania, famous Reading.
Okay. That's right.
Tennessee.
I think there's one in West Virginia this year. I think there's one in West Virginia this year. I'm not sure.
Good. No, it's AOP. Isn't it AOP?
It's like 5 hours.
There's a few
3 to 5 hours
drivable.
All right.
But it's like I can't sit shotgun. Like I have to drive. So I'm either driving or I'm like I'll just pick crew. Like and then I know he did a ride along in a 4800 car with friends of ours, and he's like, that was terrifying, and we were only doing 40 miles an hour. So we were like, all right, Tim is out. Tim is not driving.
I'm a half bad mechanic, so I can work on a car.
So you said about like Baja, go down there, so you could easily get on a pit crew. Like I know a bunch of guys who get down there just doing pit crews.
We've got buddies that are racing hammers, and they're like, you should come out. And I'm like, I can't afford to. I got to get on the way.
Like, you do realize that's like literally the other side of the country.
Yeah, hammers
for 2 weeks.
That's when we want to set out. We want to go to hammers.
Sometime. I mean, that's a captive audience.
Like, you've got to go to. Like I had somebody who was there last year. Like you would just kill it out here. You've got to come to hammers. But we've done some stuff with. Some stuff with like supporting BFG and some of their pits, and so like even there's a.
So you guys do have like an off-road.
You saw that beadlock Texas
an
pecan,
off-road branch.
The Texas pecan really that artwork resonates there. But we've got Matt Medina. Sorry, man, if you hear this, I apologize. But he basically has a race kitchen, and so he caters and he'll take coffee, but he also does a lot of BFG pits and serves our coffee in the BFG pits at Baja and all of that stuff. So yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I think one of the first times I heard of you guys was at a BFG booth at Expo. There was a guy that worked.
Was it in Tennessee?
No, it was in Virginia.
Overland Expo in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
And he was like selling it, and
it's
I'm blanking on his name.
He was with BFG.
Yeah. He's a rock crawler guy.
Yeah.
Because
he's got a beard. He's got beard oil.
Yeah.
That was Scott Dinger.
Yes,
that's Scott Dinger. Yeah, he's in Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's Scott Dinger. He's good people. Yeah, he was a good dude. We got connected with him through Flex Rock Rollovers.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
we were.
So you're working with Marvin too.
Yeah, we did some stuff with Marvin and Andrew. They're good people too. So we've done some stuff with them in the past. We're not currently right now, but we've done some stuff with them supporting 24 hours hell and back.
Yeah, that seems like a good fit.
I would love to get to that event one day.
Yeah.
Man. That's a bucket list.
We got to connect you with Jed for 24 Hours of Appalachia.
Yeah.
Get you guys working with them. He's here.
Okay.
He's the Backroads of Appalachia West Virginia director of motorsports.
Oh, wow.
He organizes all their events in West Virginia.
Is that what we helped y'all sponsor through?
Yeah,
that's right.
It was a lot of fun.
I just registered for the one coming up in March. So
okay,
and I'll be making him up. I won't be going because my wife will be due a month later.
Yeah. Well, we all have excuses.
I'll be.
That's what I said.
I'll be making him a batch of cold brew to put in the Jeep so he can drink it, concentrate.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's right. Now I'm remembering.
Yeah, we drank it. And I told everyone, I'm like, hey, this is concentrate.
And I was just drinking it straight at it. I'm a coffee drinker. Like concentrate, even if it's concentrated cold brew, I don't care. Like
that's great. I love it.
Yeah,
it worked.
I had smelling salts, and I was diluting my coffee, but the smelling salts and the diluted coffee was good.
From the time we woke up at camp to the time we finished our 687 miles or whatever it was,
36 hours.
We were up for 36 hours, and it was that 680 miles was 70 to 80% off road.
Wow, it was fun. It was
really
awesome.
Fun. I'm excited because I'm doing it in my Jeep. In March, which is 4-door versus the 2-door, so like a little bit more stable. It
got the mid arms, got the good, same shocks I have, but
Well, no, I had the reservoirs.
Okay,
but
better cooling.
Yeah, and the event has evolved a lot.
Yeah,
like it's really good.
How many participants will be in that?
There was 190 registered.
Nice.
They limit it now because they've just gotten so many.
Yeah.
But I think he said he was doing like 120 full size and another 50 side by side guys for this one.
Okay.
Cool. They do. It's a lot of public roads, so it's kind of limited. But they're doing checkpoints now. So like where we just left and drove and you followed the map.
There was one checkpoint, and that was at the firehouse.
Yeah, but it wasn't in a fit. You didn't have to stop.
Now, but did you have to be there by a certain time?
No.
It does sound like he may be doing that for this one in March.
If you don't make it, then you're...
Yeah, it's like if you don't make it by X time, sorry, you're out of the race.
That's actually a good idea. We should pitch that to Jed.
Yeah.
Well, you do that with like the Baja or you do that with triathlons.
Yeah, it's a true stage. You have to make it to the stage before it closes.
It's a tough balance for them because it's public roads. So they're like, it's not a race. Don't speed. So now, and then if you put a time limit on it, like people are going to speed.
Well, that is that's anything about like the pits. It's like speed limit is 20 miles per hour, and you have to. I mean, you are on it because if you're over,
well, everything's
it's
track
fine.
GPS
yeah,
too.
and
yeah.
then also, but you get on roads and it's like go, and then you get on roads like do on a road.
Yep.
But that's also so we all a couple years ago we worked with. Do you know who Max Built Offroad is? They do the Willys Jeep. So they did a Willys Jeep thing. I think it left out of Bantam. Do you guys do Bantam?
No,
it's on the list.
We're not big Jeep event people.
Okay.
Like we're gonna go wheeling. We're not gonna go sit in a parking lot and gawk over Jeeps.
You'd rather go to Windrock than you'd go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like Great Smoky Mountain and Bantam are probably the only two like Jeep events that I have interest in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm a car history nerd.
Oh, cool.
Like that's my flavor of nerd. I worked at a car museum for a while. Like,
Which one?
The Gateway Auto Museum. They recently shut it down.
Oh.
But it was Western Colorado.
Okay.
I didn't know they closed it.
Yeah, he sold the collection. It was really cool. They built it as a timeline of American car history.
Yeah.
So it started with a 1907 Cadillac and it went to a 2007 Mustang.
Cool.
And it was like 75 cars. I was a 22-year-old kid maintaining that collection. It was
awesome.
pretty fun. But,
That's really good.
so like Bantam has the Jeep history.
Right.
And there's good trails in the area.
Yeah.
And then like Great Smoky Mountain, I just want to go because I've been told it's just a massive shit show.
Yeah.
And it's just like ducks everywhere. And we have some buddies with
rock crawlers.
Like
tube chassis rock crawlers.
That are street legal.
Yeah.
And they tow them down there and they spend the week at Windrock. Well, all the Jeep, we call them Jeeple, are at the show. They're out wheeling an empty Windrock and then cruising at night in their buggies on the highway. And I'm like, see, that sounds like fun to me.
Yeah, that sounds like the perfect amount of like debauchery.
Yeah. Well, so I want to do Bantam selfishly because I went to middle school and high school in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So I want to go up there to, just.
God, you've been everywhere.
Yeah, I've been all over. I've been everywhere, man.
I'm not that far behind you because I went to school in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right.
So I have a lot of ties to PA.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was Colorado, Maryland, Virginia.
We love Colorado. Like
it's my favorite place.
A goal for us, like how do we get to a point where we can buy a cabin on a small stream? I don't want a river. So I don't want to drown. I don't want to go out there and have it be 40 feet across going on, I want something like as wide as this table.
Yep.
That I can walk out, I can hear it from a room, from a
Sit-
window open.
Just sit the
yes.
beadlock in the morning.
Yes. Yeah.
No product placement. Not an ad.
Not an ad.
This was not an ad, but try it. You'll love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will. You really will. And use code DIRTDRIVE.
Yes.
But we did, and then we did. I went to Great Smoky Mountain a couple years ago. We actually set up with Marvin in the BFG booth and sold out of that a couple years ago. So yeah, but you're right. It's a ducker's ducker's paradise. The mall crawlers are everywhere, and the Jeeple though. I like that.
We one of our best selling swag shirts is "Kill All Jeeps," and
I got a sticker for you here.
Oh, cool.
And it's funny because the joke is the Toyota guys think it's hilarious and they think we're Toyota guys.
Yeah.
Real off-road Jeep people get it because like Jeeps are just it's America's most reliable, unreliable vehicle.
Yeah.
Right. Like
it'll break down on you.
You're guaranteed to break down at some point,
unless it's a Sonata.
Yes.
It's a story for a different
And
time.
then and it's like the people who don't get the joke are the duckers, the mall crawlers. It's like, well, I love my Jeep, and it's like it's not about not loving Jeeps.
Right.
It's the love-hate relationship. Like I have 3 of them.
Right. Yeah.
And I equally hate all of them as much as I love them.
It's the best multi-tool. It gets the job done the best.
Yeah.
And you can take the doors off.
Yeah.
Right.
And
there you go.
And they're still better than Toyotas.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But
yeah. I don't know if that's an earthquake,
I
if that's someone
no
above
idea.
us, or
People rocking and rolling.
yeah,
I feel like it's above, right?
it does feel like it's above.
Yeah.
Something's rolling above.
Well, there's the meeting rooms up there.
That's where the big podcasts are at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're down the hall.
They stuck us. They stuck us in a corner.
Yeah, stuck us.
Honestly, I'm happy to have the corner. Like when we with the shop, I know like the fallback. I could get access to the show as the shop.
Yeah.
So it was like we talked about it. I'm like, why don't give it a shot? Let's see what happens. Like,
Right.
worst comes to worst, they say no, and we just end up here as buyers.
Yeah.
And we do the
And we
exact,
do the
same,
exact
thing.
same thing.
We just have to sit in a corner by ourselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was like 3 days, and they were like approved. And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
Oh, okay. I guess
Yeah.
we're media officially.
But do you guys come to this every year?
This is our first year.
time
Oh,
we're
first
here,
year.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't hear about it until we went to SEMA.
Yeah.
Then I heard about PRI like passively.
Yeah.
And then we went to the the PRI SEMA Washington rally.
Yep.
We got invited by Jed, Backwards of Appalachia, to come out and record with him and a few people. and then we met the president, Michael Good.
Yep.
And then the president and CEO, Mike Spagnola. I'm gonna get that wrong every time. He's gonna be on in a little bit.
It sounds like pasta. Right. It's really
Spagnola. Yeah, we met them, and they are like, "Hey, you should definitely come out."
Yeah.
And then we actually booked Mike Spagnola for a podcast after you
awesome.
today.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean,
a little future past.
Depending on what order these get released.
I feel like you're trying to one up me, but it's
no. So he pitched to his wife. He's like, "Yeah, we got CEOs of companies."
No, it was my sister.
Your sister. Okay.
So that's like I was driving out here, texting my sister, and she's like, "Are you busy this week?" And I was like, "Yeah, like we got a bunch of podcasts." She's like, "All right, well, we got to go through this, and this." Is like, I'll talk to you on Saturday. Like, I got a bunch of podcasts lined up for the next 2 days. I need all my brain power. She's like, all right, like anybody I would know? And I was like, no, it's just a bunch of like CEOs and celebrities. And she goes, and I wouldn't know them. And I was like, not unless you've started watching car YouTube.
Yeah.
So
you count as a CEO. You're up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. Michael Good. Yes. Yeah. Everyone that I've talked to says
he's been great.
He's a great guy. Like we've hung out. We've developed a pretty cool relationship with the Roadster Shop. I don't know who Roadster Shop is, but those guys we just met at a lot of car shows, and
you got to go do their podcast now.
Yeah.
Whiskey.
Well, they were like, hey, make sure you meet this guy because he's just awesome. You can tell he cares about the industry. He's going to do really great things, and
I'm excited to see what he does for racing.
Well, and I loved him, candidly for us, I loved him saying these are the top 3 things we want to focus on. One was how do we make the track experience better? We're like, right here on brand coffee. That's one way. So
Well, I think that's the biggest battle we have as enthusiasts, without turning this into a political podcast again.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, English Town Raceway Park doesn't do drag racing anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like my entire start to being in this industry is closed because somebody bought some land and built some houses, and people went, "That's too loud." And it's like, well, why'd you buy the house?
Right.
Yeah.
You knew it was there first, right? Yeah.
And I was 17 taking my 87 BMW down that track on random Tuesday cruise nights. Everybody got one pass for free. Bring your own helmet, and racing my buddy's Honda, and it's like, I got 17 seconds. Oh, it was 22 seconds. Like, oh yeah, it was fun, and like that's gone now, right? And it's the constant battle of where do you go to be a car guy, right? Like, our generation. I mean, I get bored in parking lot car shows.
Yeah,
Like cruise nights, cars and coffees are great, right? It's an hour, it's 2 hours. You see cool cars, you go home,
right?
But like the structured award-winning car shows and all that, it's tough to do a 3-day thing as a spectator.
Right. Yep.
So you got to keep that attention, and with tracks closing, you get kids doing dumb things like we see it in the DC area, all the street takeovers and all that. Like it's killing everything.
It puts a black eye on everything.
And that's I've become that off-road guy because having cars, it's hard, right? Like it's hard to go out with a kid at 10 o'clock at night to go to a car meet and see your car buddies. Like,
for sure.
And then it just becomes a shop day at the house, and it's like, now we're building these cars. What are we doing with them?
Yeah.
So it's
the off-road stuff is a very welcoming community, and it's very, very open.
Right.
And there seems to be not as much. There's definitely riffraff, but not as much riffraff.
Yeah.
But the riffraff is very universally disliked in the community.
Okay.
Like if you're the guy that kicks down the fence and goes and tears up private property or runs a trail that's closed or whatever it is,
you're gonna get blasted.
And I mean, they just happened at AOA in Pennsylvania. They have a.
Was that the guy that was up crawling over? No, that was different.
No, it was a different one. This was like 2 days ago.
This was a couple months ago.
AOA it's an off-road park in central Pennsylvania, and they got special permission. They literally built a route for people to drive their side-by-sides from the park into downtown Cole Township so that they can bring that tourism, which is 15 miles away. They can bring all those people, and they can now get in their side-by-side or ATV or whatever it is and drive into town, get lunch, patron of the businesses in town. But when the park is closed, they close the road because it's only special use for them. And some guy in like a beat-up first-gen 4Runner just drove through their gate in the middle of the night, and they have them on camera. Yeah, and they're like, "There's a reward for damage," and it's like, and there's not a single comment on there going like, "Oh, good for him." Like everyone's like, "What an idiot!" Like, why do you have to ruin this for everybody?
Yeah.
But at least from probably a little biased because I know there are car guys who hate all the illegal stuff, but there's still, you see the videos and there's 100 people in the intersection videoing it and posting it on TikTok, and it's like,
but I also wonder. I also wonder, are a lot of those people that are there, are they even car fans? Or are they just like?
They're just
I sort of like
fans.
and I like mischief. I like we shouldn't be here, so I want to be part of it. You know what I mean?
And I think that just becomes part of the stigma is they're not actually car guys. They just want to wreck things, and they just use cars to do it. But we all get screwed. Yeah.
Have you guys been down to Hot Springs Off-Road Park in Arkansas?
On the list.
Cool.
I'm very high on the list.
Yeah, they're cool. We were they have our coffee in their in their shop there,
And,
but they're really good people.
S'more is also on the list.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Southern Montana,
Missouri.
Southern Missouri.
Southern
I don't know.
Missouri.
Very different parts.
I mean, it's
It's
close.
one of the M's. It's one of the M's.
It's close. It's closer than
It's one of the M's.
Yeah.
One we can drive through. The
Southern
other.
Mississippi. I don't know.
How about have you done Moab?
No,
Yeah.
we were just in Moab.
Oh yeah, you
for
were.
a
That's
week,
right.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, we were joking. I was like, we were pulling into Indianapolis last night at 11. And I was like, the car's running great. We could probably just go straight to Moab and just stay there.
Yeah, forever.
Forever.
Sell the car
But you've not done Easter Jeep out there so
No,
far. Yeah.
no.
So
That's one of those big events that we want to get to, but it's also a big event, so we kind of want to avoid.
And
When we were in Moab, we paralleled it with a rock crawler event,
okay.
and we didn't see anybody. We knew the rock crawler guys were there, like Jeremy and
we ran
and all
every
those.
major trail in Moab that week. Like we did Poison Spider, we did Fins and Things. The only time I think we ran into traffic was Hell's Revenge.
Well, we also did the guy in the rental with his family, but
he was literally the only person we saw on Poison Spider.
Yeah, he ended up just wheeling with us. He's like, I'm not out with anybody else. They told me not to do this
by
trail.
himself in a rental Jeep.
That's odd.
They flew in for the weekend with his wife.
He was a race car guy. I wonder if he's here.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
We did Colorado starts with an O.
Uari? Not Uari.
No, Uari's in North Carolina.
Uray.
You're
Tell-
right.
tell
Yeah.
you
So
how
we
you're
rented some Jeeps, and we should not have been out there in rental. Like a guy, it was funny. People were like,
That's some cliffs.
"What are you guys? You're cool. You just
are
went and
big
bought these
mountains.
and brought them in off the show floor." We're like, no, the rentals. You're like, what the hell are you doing?
That's even worse.
And I will say this. I was like, halfway through, I'm like, they're probably pretty right. We should not have been out here in rentals.
Yeah, and those are big consequence mountains. out
Yes.
there.
No, it was, and I'm not a heights guy. I'm not a heights guy, and I was like, mother F, what did we get into here?
So Gateway is like an hour and a half, 2 hours north of where Telluride is. It's right on that Utah border. And like, I had skied on the East Coast as a kid, and when I lived out there, I had friends take me to Telluride to go skiing, and I was like, cool.
Right.
And I remember parking in a parking garage, and they were just like, okay, and they just clipped into their snowboards and took off down the hill, and I'm like, is this a green? Is this a blue? Like I haven't skied in 5 years, and they're like, you're good, just come on down, and I'm like we're in the parking lot. We had to ski down, and then it's
How
like
do we get back up?
And then it was ski down into town, get your lift pass, and then like it was like lift and lift and lift and lift, and I'm like, are we ever going down? And they're like, yeah, you're good. And we went to the top, and we spent the next 6 hours skiing back down the mountain. I was like, this is nuts. It was
fun,
and it was like it's waist deep snow. I'm like, this is not the Poconos.
Yeah. Are you a skier too?
A snowboarder, yeah.
Snowboarder?
Yeah. It's been a long time, but yeah.
I don't know if I could still do it with my back and.
My wife's
being out
a
of shape,
skier, wants her girls, and I want her girls too. And I go, but I spend the entire time worried about my knees and everything. Like I hurt at the end of the day. I'm like, maybe I'll just go next time and just drink beer or something.
I was
Drink
worried
beer,
about my
drink hot
knees and my
chocolate.
back
Jump
10
on the
years
fire.
ago.
Oh, what'd you do?
I broke my back
how'd you do
last
that?
year. Unloading a car off a car trailer. I just slipped and just landed flat on my ass. Fractured a vertebrae. So
Oh,
it's
my
like,
gosh.
Now at 30, like at 25, I was worried about getting hurt. At 35, I am hurt, and I'm like, meh.
Yeah.
Skiing doesn't sound as much fun as it used to.
Try
But
it at
sit
40
snowmobiling.
Try it at 45, 47 when you're not a skier. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's like
Sit and drink beer by the fire. That sounds like a lot of
we
fun.
did. I won a trip through work. My wife and I went to Whistler.
oh, nice.
I guess almost 2 years ago now. She was pregnant, so we couldn't go skiing. But like I was like, listen, I'll be really careful, but can we still do a snowmobile tour?
Yes. Yes.
So she's on the back of the snowmobile,
Yeah.
like what would it be, 5-6 months pregnant,
Right.
And I'm like, I'm whipping around.
Right,
She's
right,
like, you're
right.
supposed to be going slow, and I'm like,
Yeah, but I'm in the powder now. I can't slow down.
I was like, it's way easier to steer going fast, and she's like, I don't believe you.
We did in Montana. It's the biggest resort by area.
Oh,
Oh golly, I'm going blank now. You fly into Billings. We drive like 30 minutes up. I can't believe it. whatever. My favorite was we went snowmobiling one day, and it was just
so much fun.
Wide open. They're like, they take you out, and it's, hey, whatever, fine. And then the guy's like, look, I know you like, just go. And it was just running as fast as you want. And
I was getting frustrated because our guide was going so slow, and I kept getting caught in all the other tracks, and it was just jerking me back and forth. And we stopped at one point. I was like, can we go a little faster?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's one of those things where if you're going faster, you can steer better. And she's like, yeah. You're like, are you comfortable? I was like,
it's like a jet ski.
It's the same thing with jet skis. We just did jet skis last week in Mexico, and it's the same. It's that same mindset, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys go in Mexico?
Cancun. I was down there with the day job. Had
God.
But I'll tell you, and it sounds like woe is me, but we had like 15, 20 contractors down there, and it is not like.
It's still work.
It's still work. It is actually. I came back so tired. Chantel, I don't know. She was bragging about how she was eating salads every day. I'm like, well, guess what? That was rinsed in because she came back and was sick for a couple of days and all that. But we had a good time down there. But it is when you want to go and have fun, but you're constantly catering to people. You're up early for this. You're going to bed late because of this, and just So I was actually more tired when I got home than when we left.
Yeah,
so
that's usually how vacations work.
Yeah,
as long as the wife's happy, you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So
I had that realization the first year I went to SEMA. Because I was like, I'm going to go to Vegas, first time in Vegas. We're going to have fun. We're going to do this and that. And I went, our buddy Trevor, who's on the podcast a lot too, it was just me and him. And it was Wednesday after day 2 at SEMA, and it was 9 o'clock at night, and the two of us are in our hotel room looking at each other, and he's like, I'm going to bed. Like, do whatever you want. And we were both asleep at 9:30 in Vegas.
Awesome.
And we're like, we walked like 35 miles in a week.
Yeah, right.
And all we did was SEMA.
Right.
We didn't do anything. We went, I think we went to a bar once, and it was walking back from SEMA.
Right.
Yeah, I texted Tom before this. I'm like, I feel like I'm getting ready to walk into a storm. Because I know this event's going to be crazy, and it's just kicking off, and it's going to be wild. I don't know what we're doing tonight, but I guarantee we're doing something.
Well, I think there's a big happy hour tonight. You guys should do the happy hour.
After the happy hour, we'll probably end up somewhere.
I'm not even staying downtown. I'm staying like 10 miles from here, but it was like $98 a night at a Holiday Inn Express. And I'm like, which it's so much easier. So doing that, but I'm going to stay for the happy hour tonight, and there's another happy hour tomorrow in the Tops Lounge, so I'll be in there. But but it is, I'll tell you, Vegas to me, again, woe is me, but it is the first couple times you get to Vegas, like, it's cool. Yeah. I've been to Vegas probably 40 or 50 times for trade. So for my industry, the International Builder Show would be like SEMA for building. So that every year is out there. A bunch of other shows that I literally now, there is a Holiday Inn resort. You're going to laugh at it, but here's the Venetian. And people are like, I want to stand there. Behind it is this Holiday Inn like timeshare
I know
resort.
what you're talking about.
And it has kitchens. I literally will fly in, go grocery shopping. So I don't even eat out half. I literally grocery shop. It's a condo. It's a condo, and I'll make breakfast. I'll make dinner, and I'm fine.
We were talking about driving out here, like if we do SEMA next year between the podcast and the shop and everything else. So for 25, like maybe we just get an Airbnb and just make it way easier.
Yes.
If you're coming out to SEMA, you want to get
Airbnb.
I've never been to SEMA.
Oh, really?
Never been to SEMA. So this is our first time to do it. So SEMA PRI, and just working with them here. So we're excited about that. But I want to go to SEMA and count me in.
All right.
I am Airbnb.
You bring the coffee.
I'm Airbnb all day.
We'll be well caffeinated.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a 427 stroker guy.
I'll bring stroker in. I'll bring the beadlock.
We'll be good. Yeah, those are the two. And I know Chantel and Trevor talk all the time because Trevor does the ordering for the coffee for the shop.
Yeah.
It's Trevor's a great cook.
Yeah.
He was eyeing up the rubs, the brake dust rubs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, buy some brake dust on the next order. Like we have a Blackstone in the shop.
Oh, there you go.
When the weather's nice, like us and the neighbors trying to alternate months.
That's cool.
Do lunch cookouts and whatnot. So
yeah, we've got the sweet and the spicy. I'm normally the spicy guy, but I like our spicy sweet rub better, and vice versa. My wife is more of a sweet, but she likes the spicy rub better. So
I've always been a fan of the 2-stroke, the hot chocolate. My wife is old school Swiss Miss, right? Like that's her thing. And we didn't have any. I lit the wood stove for the first time a couple weeks ago, and she's like, "I'm gonna make hot chocolate." Couldn't find it. She's like, "I guess I'm using yours." I'm like, she's like,
the Mexican.
Now that I figured out how to make it.
Did you do the Mexican or the American?
I like the Mexican. We had the regular in the cabinet, and she was just like, I just feel like I wasn't putting enough in it before. And I was like,
you gotta put a lot in it. Have you ever looked at the instructions on like Swiss Miss and how much you're supposed to put it? It's a ton.
Yeah, she was, and like she's like, now that I make it, this is way better than Swiss Miss. I was like, I know.
Yes. Yeah. No,
and also look at the ingredients. It's probably healthier for you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but the Mexican to me, because it's got that cinnamon, clove spice to it. It's almost like a horchata.
I think we're out of it at the shop, but last winter, I literally went out and bought like a water kettle for the shop to make hot chocolate in the afternoon.
I love it.
Yeah. It's like
You've got it sounds like you got a good culture at the shop.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of fun.
He's got more guys coming to hang out during the day at the shop than actually come to purchase
the shop is like an orphanage. Like our friends just come through all the time.
I was when I was an inspector. I'm a building inspector. I'm a plane reviewer. So when I was an inspector, during my days I would run by the shop and grab a cup of coffee, hang out for a little bit, eat lunch. Yeah,
use my microwave, and I'm like, I'm gonna start.
Then I'd be there. Then we'd have like 4 other buddies show up, and I'm like, I don't know how he does any work, but he does good work.
Yeah,
I pay people to do the work. I don't actually do any work.
You're just the face. They just have me here for the pretty face.
So I just write checks.
Just the personality.
I just spend all of the money.
Yep.
That's great.
I.e. PRI.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, cool. So how many blends do you guys have?
We have, let's see. So we've got our injected 427 big block gear oil, which is super dark. Our Colombian Bam Bam is 100% Colombian.
So good. I also love the Colombian Bam Bam.
Colombian Bam Bam. Then we've got our beadlock Texas Pecan. Pure no lead is the decaf. The GHC 10, and then our
GHC 10 is new, right?
It's brand new, and then the GH, and then our Grand Prix Espresso. Yeah. So we've got 9.
So I'm on the random bag. Mm-hmm. How do I make the espresso at home without burning my taste buds out? Trying to make it like coffee. Do I need to make the espresso like coffee, or do I need to make it in an espresso machine I get the random bag?
You could make it in a regular coffee maker, right? It's just going to be very rich, right? You could.
I found that
you drink smaller cups of it.
Yeah. Just, you make it more concentrate. Make your concentrate that you were doing there. Yeah, but you do have to have pinky extended.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
That's my wife used to work at a Starbucks when she was in high school. So like she's all like we have I think 3 different milk frothers for whatever reason. Like, I'm a splash of almond milk, and I'm a dairy free guy in the mornings, or else it's a long afternoon. But like, just you make your espresso. This is what she would tell you to do: make your espresso, do half the cup, and then do the rest with your milk, and that's an Americano. And then if you froth the milk and heat the milk, then it's a latte.
You're so basic. How do you not know that? Just kidding.
Listen, I get whole beans and I grind it.
Just have Carrie will give you the full.
Makes a big difference.
It does.
Oh yeah,
it does. I mean, it is. It really does make a difference when you do the whole bean. So and you can grind it. So when we look at like for us, so we're in stock at Summit Racing. We're in stock at with y'all, but we're in stock at Speed.
Not quite as big as a client.
I'm definitely not doing Summit Racing size orders. But
Speedway Motors. I said before we're on like 100 Mac Tools trucks. All of those, it's just going to be ground. Like because whole bean, it's probably 5% of say because not the mass drinker is really going to be pre-ground or it's going to be piston. So
we had Scott would buy the whole bean from us.
Yeah,
and then like I bought a bunch of whole bean. I'm like, Scott, you got to drink more.
Yeah,
I'm still working on the last bag.
Anybody who is retailing or inventorying the product for whole,sale, we say, look, don't order whole bean until you get a demand and somebody says you want it. Then just put it on your next order.
Yeah. Well, and so many, like we went through all of the pistons. Yeah.
That's just you guys drinking them at the shop. Went through all the pistons.
But even like the boxes, like the first order we did, the pistons all sold first. Like I was selling them our one tool truck in the winter. He was giving out coffee to people, so he was buying pistons. Yeah. And like he came back like the next week and was like, "I need more coffee," and I'm like, "Here you go."
So you're selling the tool truck. That's awesome. Yeah.
Because they're all franchise guys, so everybody's they're all different. Like but he was loving it. I'm like anybody who drinks it, tell him to like call me so we'll sell more. Like
or you should just sell it. Like, hey, I'll sell it to you, and you sell it on the
on the truck. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, should have to reach back out to him.
Yeah,
it's winter again. We moved shop, so he's on a different route. We don't see him every day now, but
I'm sorry.
Sure
You'll get through it.
Yeah,
it sounds like a little like he's on a different.
He's a really good tool guy.
That's cool.
There's good tool guy because he was a former tech.
Oh, okay.
So like there would be time
he knows.
Yeah, there was a day we were fighting a tie rod end insert, and like it's a 46 millimeter hex.
Okay,
so it's just a big hex, and like We've got pipe wrenches and torches, and they're reverse thread, fine thread, red Loctite. Like it's not meant to come out.
Right.
And he walks in at like 4:30 with a catalog. He's like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And we're like, "Get out! Wait a minute." We're like, "What?" I'm like, "Do you have anything that fits on this?" And he goes, "Maybe." And we're all on the truck, like digging through the truck to find a socket. And then like he's got the adapter, and like I'm like, "If this works, I'll buy it." And he's like, "Okay." Put it on. Sure enough, like 3 breaker bars, breaks
Done.
it loose, and I'm like, "How much was that socket?" It's like $110, and I was like,
You'll pay it off in 7 years.
But no, we've used it like 5 times now because it's the same.
That's great.
It's the one customer. It's a crazy built Jeep, and we rebuild that steering every year for him, so we need it now.
Nice.
But like, never would have thought to try like get that socket out of that kit and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So it's good when you get good tool guys like that.
Nice. That's
Well,
awesome.
cool, man. Where can people find you guys as Gearhead Coffee?
Yeah, so I just mentioned a couple retailers, Summit Racing, Speedway Motors. We're in a couple 4-wheel parts stores in Texas. But for your crowd here, obviously from you guys they can, or candidly gearheadcoffee.com. You can go there. We've got the full assortment there. Even right now for the holidays, we've got like T-shirt bundles, like get a bag and a matching shirt, or get a 3-roast bundle, all of those things as well. And then we do have we call it the Mechanics Club, but it's a subscription, recurring, like set it and forget it, and it's.
I do the random bag.
Yeah, and you get free shipping, and you save 15% and all of that, and so yeah.
Cool. And on social media at Gearhead.
At Gearhead Coffee Co.
Gearhead Coffee Co.
Yeah,
right?
so the ex-partner somehow I thought it'd be better to have Gearhead Coffee Co. than Gearhead Coffee. I was like, well, you were wrong, but we're stuck with it now. So
it works.
Yeah, so you see
it's
us on,
easy to find.
Yeah, you'll find us on Instagram. You'll find us on Facebook. We may have a Twitter, although I don't even know how to do Twitter. So we may have an account there. Don't go there. Just go to Instagram or Facebook. So
cool.
Easy.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy day of networking to come hang out and talk trash with us and talk coffee.
I've enjoyed it. It's really good. Like I said,
yeah.
I don't do a lot of podcasts, so it's been cool to just
You
shoot
get
the
to
breeze with
get you
y'all.
on with the oil and whiskey guys. You'd be good on there.
Ooh,
Yeah, they do some really cool stuff. It's a good podcast.
Yeah.
So
Not as good as
Obviously. We are your favorite podcast.
They were in a room on that side.
They're in the glass booth in the front.
They're even further away.
I would imagine. I mean, I'm sure they're probably here as the Roadster Shop.
Definitely.
Well, I think I don't even know if they're doing the podcast. I know they're here walking the show.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're on. But they may be. I saw Phil, their head sales guy at Dino's Get Down in Phoenix, and I know he's not coming. I think their owners might have been coming to walk the show or something.
Yeah.
So, but good people. Yeah. So
We appreciate you joining us. We love your stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I can officially say this is not an ad.
Yeah.
We are going to go try and sneak into the top slots.
Yeah, I just need a good cup of coffee. It's, even the media lounge coffee was as bad as Brooklyn.
Yeah, we may send you as a flyer in there to grab us a cup or two.
Yeah, there you go.
But we appreciate you. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
You guys know where to find us. Everywhere social at the Dirt Drive. Like, subscribe, share. YouTube.
Yes.
Tom released a video on Friday, which is future past.
Tomorrow.
2 days.
Tomorrow.
Thursday. Yeah. So future past, it's tomorrow. But Tom released a video on Friday, more CJ stuff. This upcoming Friday, we've got a special one for you. I walk you through my Cherokee, kind of what we're doing on that. We're working on it. The mics are better though on my Cherokee video. We've got that figured out. Go check it out. We will see you guys next week.